and they don't. And, you can be you. You should be you because I'm not for everyone. You might, I mean, if you follow me, there's something about me that you like, but I'm really not everybody's cup of tea, but you might be. I'm too much of an extrovert. And so, like, other introverts are attracted to other introverts. You don't have to be like me, just be yourself. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the CEO Glow Show, how to work less and earn more. I have my good friend and PRB alumni, Jenny Norris Brown, and we're going to give you guys like a behind the scenes look. So as you guys know, business coaching is an investment. And so I told Jenny right before we pressed record, I said, like, give it away. Give it away. So I hope you guys get a lot of value from this. We want to promise you that we will give you a huge ROI for your attention. And so that's our goal today. So welcome, Jenny.
Thank you.
How are you, Jenny? Pretty in pink?
That's my favorite.
See, that's why we get along. That's why.
Everything is pink. Everything is pink. My whole studio. I'm doing great. Thank you. Everything has been really good. We're in the busy part of our season right now in Florida, in South Florida.
Yeah.
We can be seasonal here.
Tell everybody like what you do and like what your business looks like and what your specialty.
Okay. I am the owner of Good Vibrations Cosmetic Tattooing in South Florida, which is actually located in Delray Beach. I am the owner. I am also the artist. I also am the marketing and the cleaning and all the things. I do all the things, which I love. I guess I like that part of it because I like to have control over things and have things done my way. So that's the way I like my business. There are things that I hand over, like I use, Square. So that does my booking and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. We got introduced to Elevate, it sounds like.
But everything else, I do. And I love it. I love that part. I love being in the full aspect of my whole entire business.
So it doesn't feel like work. I think if you really love what you're doing, like I have so much energy to get up in the morning. Like I go to bed thinking about like all the things I'm going to accomplish the next day. And it's like so much fun. And even though it's challenging, I feel like I'm playing my favorite game. Just like, boys are addicted to, playing Halo or whatever. And it's like, or Roblox. And it's like, oh my God, I get to play the game. But it's like better because it's like real life. You know what I'm saying?
Totally. Oh, yeah, totally. Like, so I went to college for art and I'm an art major. I have a sculpture degree. I have a fine arts degree. I had to pass a portfolio review to get my degree, actually. So I am an artist. And I remember being in school and everyone is like, what are you wasting your money on? Like, what are you even going to do with that? You're not moving to New York. And I was like, yeah, I know. I'll figure it out though. And that's what I did. I figured it out and I've been able to use my work and I'm really passionate about being an artist and I get to help people. Like that's like the best part about it. Like not just with cosmetics, but I also do paramedical. So I'm able to help people, with their scars, with the burns, 3D areolas, like that's so life-changing for people. And then there's like somebody who may have alopecia, and they don't have any eyebrows, like literally just changing people's lives with one tattoo at a time. And I absolutely love that. I actually just had a consultation last week and I had a girl and she had a birthmark that she tried to have removed, but like the skin split when they tried to remove it. So it didn't come all the way out. Like the birthmark didn't come all the way out. So she was like, can we, camouflage it? And it's pretty dark. So I was like, no, but we can actually do body art over top of it. So I get to do that too, because I can do body art. So I'm actually designing a tattoo for her specially. So I love what I get to do. It awesome. Makes all the wheels in my brain turn.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love that. Yeah. I feel the same way. I feel like I'm really artistic, but I think where a lot of artists get lost is like, we just get like so into the creativity side of it. And I have no idea how at the same intensity that I am artistic, I'm also strategic. I feel very balanced in that way, but I do get really lost in the art. But, crazy to me how I'm very grateful that I have this type of like programming, because I
Yeah.
think where a lot of artists get lost is we just get lost in the craft, we get lost in empathy, we get lost in creativity and the colors and making people beautiful, that we forget in order to be able to do more of those things, you need to have a lot of strategy behind it. And so that is what we're going to be talking about today, which is how to work less and earn more.
Yeah.
So yeah, what are your thoughts on that? I feel like, artists get just kind of lost in this like tornado of creativity.
So I feel like that was my biggest issue when I came to PRB, is that I was just strictly an artist. I didn't know how to really run a business, and I didn't really know any of that back office or the marketing or any of that kind of stuff. And that's where PRB came in, and it really helped me, and it helped drive my business, because without any of that, you really do get stuck. Like, you'll stop at a point because you don't know what the next steps are to take. At least that's how it was in my case. Like, I felt like, okay, I had all these clients coming in when I first like started to open my own business, but then that kind of stopped because I didn't have any marketing, and I didn't have any back office skills because I didn't know any of that part. So that's where PRB really helped my business.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned the word back office a few times. And so I just want, to kind of like, lift the veil a little bit of like, what does that look like? What is back office? What are the things that you didn't know how to do, but now you do know how to do?
So a lot of that had to do with being there for my clients, and like not just being like, okay, come in, I'm going to do your makeup and that's it. It's like having that connection with them, reaching out to them, following up with them. I even go back in my calendar, and I will go back and reach out to everybody and be like, especially if it's been a year, and be like, hey, how are you? And like really try to connect with somebody, whether I pick up the phone and talk to them, or I am like sending them a text. I don't like to try to do it through like the computer, but be more personable, and like being organized. I think with all of that is something that I really needed help with.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So what does your business look like today? I mean, you're only working 3 days a week.
Yeah.
You're looking for a new space. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's the contrast? Like, where were you before and where are you now?
Okay, so before, when I really started getting involved with PRB, I was still actually working with other plastic surgeons. So that's what I did before. I was working at different plastic surgeons' offices, and they did all the legwork for me. Like, they did the marketing, they contacted the clients. So I didn't have to do any of that. And I was working for 6 different offices and like under 12 different doctors. And I would just go each day to a different office, and they would book me. I was like relying on them, and I felt like I wanted to do so much more for myself. And the only way you're going to do that is doing it yourself. So I needed to take the reins into my own hands. And as I was like transitioning from that, I was in a room, a space with a girlfriend, and we were sharing that space. So I was only in there a couple days a week on my own. And that's when I came into PRB, and I got the courage, because it was scary, to get my own suite. So that's where I am right now. I still in my suite, and I absolutely love it. It's just me, and I love all the people that are around me. I'm in a solo suite, and I now only work 3 days a week, which is so awesome. I do about 2 to 3 clients a day, and that is all I really need to do. I'm not breaking my back. I'm not struggling to like fill my books anymore. Like, it's all just magically happening. And I honestly need to give all the glory to God for that too, because, if without him, I wouldn't be where I am. So I'm so grateful for him. And before also, I was hustling. I was driving all over Palm Beach County from office to office, going to clients and working at different offices and working at different times. And, it was a lot, it was a lot of hustling around town, and I got really burned out doing that. So I'm so glad that this is where I am now, where I'm just, 3 days a week in my studio with my clients. I love every minute of it.
Won't he do it?
Yeah.
Won't he do it? Okay. So my pastor always says God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. I have to say, like, so it was my birthday over the weekend, and
Oh, happy belated.
thank you. I was on March 8th, International Women's Day. And so like my friends and like the team, they made like a birthday video for me. They made a birthday
Aw.
video and it was like, and they do it all the time, but this one kind of hit a little differently. But I don't know why. I was so overwhelmed. And the video was made to make me feel like, I really mattered and I was significant and everything. And it did that, but it did something really interesting. It made me feel really inadequate. I was like, it just kind of dawned on me because like we just kind of live life every single day, like, okay, schedule, what's on the calendar? What's on the calendar? But it made me just like really stop and really take a look at like, oh, my life matters. Like all these people are like, I have an effect. And I just felt so like this isn't me. Like, who are they talking about? Just remember that, God qualifies you after he calls you because it didn't feel like they were talking about me.
Right.
It's so weird. And
It was like an out of body experience.
Yeah, that is kind of how it felt like. So, and I was like, sorry, you guys. I know this was meant to make me feel good, and it does, but I have to say, I feel very inadequate for all this praise and all of these words and everything because I know deep down in my bones that this is not my doing. These are not my talents. I don't own these talents. I don't own this love. And it also made me feel a really humongous sense of responsibility. And I finished that video thinking like, I just want to take everyone with me to heaven. And
No,
I just want to take everyone with me to heaven. And it made me realize, like, wow, God, you've given me so many people to love. How can I love every single person on here and all the people that weren't on there, for whatever reason? Like, and how I just wanted to like the people who are like obsessed with cats. I just want to take every cat and then put them in a basket and take them all home. Like I was so overwhelmed by this sense of responsibility. And so in the Bible, it does say that for the righteous, responsibility is a reward. What?
yeah,
Like that's some responsibility is a reward. And it is. And we like that. We're like, thank you, God. You've trusted me a little. You're trusting me a lot. And what that told me is like, wow, God, you've trusted me with so many relationships. You've trusted me with so many women and their lives. And I felt so inadequate. And so I just trust that the Lord will qualify me because he's put it in front of me. It was just really overwhelming.
Yeah. Amen to that, girl. I love that.
Thank you
So
for letting me rant. It just kind of
Yeah.
So, okay, back to lifting the veil. So, like, in what ways were you kind of like qualified as you were like walking into this place? Like, what specific strategies were you like trying and you're like, I'm not good for this, or like, this is too hard. I don't know what to do. Like, what specific strategies helped you attract more students and clients? And beyond that, the cool life you've built for yourself.
Right. I had to take the stress out of it. There's a lot of pressure that you put on yourself because you may compare yourself to somebody else's business or where somebody else might be and why am I not there? And I had to like step back from that because I was doing that to myself and I was putting a lot of pressure on myself to be something that God wasn't calling me to be.
Yeah.
He gave me my business and my responsibilities and I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing with them. And I was able to, I think PRB helps me a lot with the Instagram and being able to market myself a little bit more and, showing up on there. And that was something that I was not doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I was able to circulate a lot of students is by using my Instagram. And I feel like that's where I have a lot to give is with students because my class is not a wham bam class. Like you're over in 24 hours. It's a month long. And you are at home practicing and doing manuals for 3 weeks before you even come into the studio. And we're doing one-on-one calls and texts so that I can see where you are and how you're growing over that course of time. And then that way, when you're in the studio with me, we're not doing all of that. That's wasting time. We're getting right into the meat and potatoes of the business and of tattooing and learning what's important, like safety and how to tattoo and working on models. And that way we can make that class go much faster for you. And then obviously I always give support afterwards as well.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. Talk about generosity. That's incredible. I think a month long is what we need. We need more of that.
Well, I feel like there needs to be integrity for this business, because when I was learning how to tattoo in a tattoo shop, I wasn't even allowed to pick up a machine for a year. They were like, nope, you have to learn everything else before you can even start to think about tattooing. And I feel like that's what we need to do. Like, we need to have integrity, because sometimes, I feel like permanent makeup can get such a bad rap because there's a lot of bad work out there. It's not
YouTube tutorials.
Yeah, you can't do. Or like doing an online course and being like, hey, I'm ready to go work.
I'm ready to go stab you in the face now.
Girl, you are not ready.
Yeah. No,
you don't know depth. You don't know how your needles work, safety, any of that kind of stuff.
The safety part is like,
that's like key for me, because I have little kids and they're not so little anymore. They're preteens, but I don't want to bring home something to them,
Yeah, I used to be the same way. Yeah.
So, I mean, I feel like everybody needs to know that part of it. It's really important.
I used to take a shower before I would hug them. I'm like, no, don't touch me. But yeah, it'd be, that's the safety part. So if you're a permanent makeup artist or a lash artist or anyone that's like breaking skin, lash artists don't break skin, I hope. But like, just look into it a little further, because most of the time training is very inadequate in terms of safety. And I don't want you guys to learn the hard way. Actually, I learned the hard way. Let me tell you. So
give it to me. I want to hear.
Oh my gosh. Okay. This is I don't think I've ever shared this story before on a podcast, but I'll tell you, Jenny.
I'm ready for it.
I'll tell you. So back then I had we're young and stuff. And so like I had some boundary issues with team members and things like that. I used my business to like fill my emotional and social cup, because like I was always rejected as a child or whatever by my half sisters. And so I just wanted to, as soon as I had made money, I wanted to buy friends. And so there was this one girl that worked for me, and her mom came to town. And I was like, oh, let me take your mom out to lunch or brunch or something like that. She said she's only in town for the weekend. And I was like, okay, great. And so this girl, every time she had a difficult time in her life, I was always there for her, which I don't regret. Okay. I'm not saying that. I was always there for her. She, came by my house. She went through a bad breakup and stuff like that. So her mom came to town. And so I took her out to brunch. And then afterwards, her mom wanted some brows. And I said, sure, I'll do your brows for free. So I went ahead and did her brows. And so she was filling out the paperwork, and then she pulled me aside and she said, I have to talk to you. And I said, okay. But she wanted to make sure her daughter wasn't around. And I said, okay, what is happening? And she's like, I want you to know that I'm HIV positive and my daughter doesn't know. And I said, okay. And she was like, I think I need to disclose that of you, because you're going to be tattooing. And Jenny, I said, okay, thank you for telling me. I won't tell her. Got it. And knowing how this stuff works, I was like, well, it dies in air after 3 seconds if it's exposed. And so, but what I did that day was I put on a ton of PPE, like extra PPE. I put on like some 8mm gloves that were really thick. It was kind of like challenging to stretch the skin and everything. For you PMU artists, you know what I'm talking about. And then so I was like extra cautious, extra careful. And I tattooed her brows. And then in the middle of the procedure, because I was being so careful, bunny ears, I recapped my microblade. I recapped it, which you should never, ever, ever do. So I wanted to like keep it covered or something. And then all of a sudden, when I recapped it, I felt a little poke. I felt pain.
Oh my gosh.
And that's never happened to me before, but my caution did this. And I said, what just happened? So I took off my gloves, and then I looked at my finger, and then I was squeezing it. And then all of a sudden I saw blood, and I said, oh my gosh, we have AIDS. Will, we have AIDS. I called my husband and he was like, Sheila, what do you mean? What do you mean? And I was like, she's like, what just happened? And then so like I had to like run out. I went to the emergency room and I couldn't tell my front desk. Couldn't tell her. She was my front desk. I finished the job really, really fast. Said, I'll give you a stitch up. Don't worry. And I went to the emergency room and it was a secret. And they gave me some pills, some exposure pills for like 30 days or something like that. I think it was, that's like really hard on your liver. Praise the Lord. I don't have AIDS. I'm not HIV positive, but that was crazy. And then that girl ended up quitting the day before Christmas break because she needed to give a 2-week notice. And so that meant that I had no time to train somebody else. She had no time to train someone else. And I was like, could you please come on your day off? I'll even pay you to train the next person. You're literally a manager. And she said no. So that's one of many stories. But I mean, and I never told her. And she'll never know, and she'll probably never listen to this. I've taken a lot of moms out to brunch before, like, you know, so it's like, I mean, that was wild.
Wow. Yeah, that's terrifying. That's really scary. That is really scary. But I feel like we need to teach everybody to think
not recap their blade or needle ever.
Yeah. Or just like treat everybody like they have HIV. I mean, it's not like you're not trying to like degrade anybody, but you really need to have that mindset of being like precautious and safe and like, that's like the number one important thing in tattooing. It really, really is. So I'm glad that you're good to go.
Thank you.
Yeah. That is terrifying. That is terrifying.
Yeah. My husband was not happy about that.
Oh, no.
He wasn't. Yeah. He still made babies with me. He still did. But, you know, it was really scary. It's like, well, if you have it, I have it.
Oh, like, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a really just like a big question mark. And I couldn't believe having to tell my mother that story. Like, so mom, here's what happened.
Oh my God.
She'll freak out. But the thing is, HIV does die when exposed, but not all diseases do. Right. Hepatitis doesn't. So you need
to be smart about it. And that's why I say, like, that's why I like to have a month's training. So people are like comfortable, you know, using a machine.
Learn that in 3 days. You can't.
No. And it blows my mind when people say, oh, I took a 3-day course. I'm ready to go. I'm like, wait, what? You know, like do you know how the needles like work? You know, like any of that, what happens if your machine dies? Do you know how to fix it? You know, like things like that, you know, like.
Really? Yeah.
So that's why I think it's so important to have integrity for training. It really is.
Well, how does somebody train with you? How can someone reach out to you and train with you? Because I mean, what you have to offer is really valuable, and it is what people should be seeking when looking for a trainer.
Yeah. So you can reach out to me. My phone number is listed on Google. You can reach out to me on Instagram, Facebook, my website. I'm listed on Google Business, so you can reach out to me that way, and I will have a full conversation with you about everything. And I like to design my class around the student. So if they want to learn just brows, we'll do all brows. So powdered brows, ombre brows, nano. I do teach a little bit of microblading, but I'm kind of pulling back from that. I'm trying to teach more machine work. Or if, you know, they want to do a combo class with like lips and brows, we can set that up. So I just design it to what they want to learn. And based on that is how many days you're going to be in the studio with me with a live model. And like I said, every class is going to have that 3 weeks prior where we are doing one-on-one. You're getting used to your machine and learning everything in the manual. So I send the manual through an email and they read through that. And then when they come into the class, I actually bind it for them. I have it bound. So it's nice, like book. It's probably about 40 pages long of information. Each one of my subjects. So I do brows, eyeliner, lips, and then paramedical.
Love it.
Yeah.
So, and we'll link all of that in the show notes and in YouTube as well if you're watching or listening. So go check it out there. So there is, a mindset element of this. I think you mentioned that you used your Instagram a lot to attract clients. And I love that you say that because I feel like everyone thinks like who comes into this program that they have to be exactly like me. And they don't. And, you can be you. You should be you because I'm not for everyone. If you follow me, there's something about me that you like, but I'm really not everybody's cup of tea, but you might be. I'm too much of an extrovert. And so, like, other introverts are attracted to other introverts. You don't have to be like me, just be yourself, but be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I think that's so important too, is having your own authenticity.
authenticity. Okay.
Yes. Thank you. You can say it for me. Because like, if you're trying to be somebody else, like that's not going to work. You're not going to attract people, like even clients, like just be yourself, let it all go. Like, and that's like one of the gatekeeping things, like, don't like that I want to share is like, just really be yourself and like, do what you feel is necessary for your business and your growth, like don't teeter off of somebody else and like what they're doing or comparing yourself to that because it's not going to get you anywhere. It's actually going to hurt you even more. It's going to hold you back. And just being yourself and having your drive and constantly doing the same things, being consistent. That's all it has to be. That's what you just have to do. Being consistent in the business.
Yeah. What would you say to somebody who's, maybe they're listening to this right now and they're like, okay, Jenny, okay, Sheila, I have an Instagram account, but I'm still struggling to attract clients and students. What advice would you give them that you wish you knew earlier?
So with me, I was not posting consistently and doing the PRB. We got a handout of, it was like 50 days, I think, or 30 days of posting that we got. And yeah, and just following that really helped me. Also knowing like just having a post or a reel every day and like knowing what's what, like a photo doesn't do as well as a reel and like carousels do better than just a post of a photo, right? So like knowing those little things really help. And also like being in your stories, like you being in your stories, not just like your work or reposting things, but like you just getting on there. People want to see you. And I hate being on the camera. I really, really do. So that was like a struggle for me. So getting over that was hard for me. But if you can do that, then make that your jam. Make that your jam.
And you only need 2 or 3 clients a day, you guys. Have you done the math of what 2 or 3 clients a day, 3 days a week would look like consistently? It's like you don't need to be for everybody. You can just be for your clientele that's consistent, that likes you, that loves you, that is like, a lifer type thing. So you don't.
And I don't mean to cut you off, but like I live in Palm Beach County and there's like 3 million people in Palm Beach County or more. Girl, I could not service all those people, nor do I want to, like think of it that way. Not everybody, you don't have to have everybody. You have that one, you'll get a couple of clients and they are going to rave about you and just being authentic to them, like being their friend. Like that's important. Like you can go out to lunch with them. Or give them a call and say, hey, how are you? How are your grandkids? Like, because I have clientele that's a little older, like I want to ask them about that, doing those kinds of things really do help your business because it makes you so much more personable and more relatable to them. You're not just like this machine,
100%, 100%. So PRB has helped you implement all of these strategies so far. So, and I love that. By the way, Jenny, you should totally come to a mastermind.
When is it?
This next one is next month, but it's invite only. We are having another one in June, the Beauty Business Mastermind. It's 2 days. It's probably any former PRB students out there, it's a great refresher and also just like a great little like in-person crash course on I think for PRB alum, it's great because you have the foundation. So you coming to a 2-day like intensive kind of like update of like what's different, I feel like for PRB alum would be amazing.
I love that.
Enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Please send me that
I
information.
will. And everyone else,
Great,
go to
perfect.
sheilabella.com/mastermind. It's like my favorite thing that I do all year. It really is. I get really excited for masterminds. I get so energized. It's like, because the transformations that people have, especially if they've never heard of any of this stuff, it's like mind blowing. And we don't just focus on strategy, we really focus on love. It's like strategy, but like coded in love. And I can't explain it. You just have to be there. If you've been to a mastermind, you know what I'm talking about. It's
like fuel for your rocket ship.
It really is, especially if you feel like you're in a rut right now, or if you're feeling like I'm not in touch with what's going on in the industry these days, or you feel like alone in your business too, because like you're a solopreneur. It's my favorite thing that I do. I can't stop talking about it. I always have like this, I feel like this smile from the inside on my face every time I talk about a master. Like my legs are tingling right now because I'm talking about it. Oh my gosh. It's such great girl time. It's such great girl time. Like it's so healing. Like all we do is laugh and make money and learn and love on each other. It's really amazing. So, and it's small. It's not like a conference where you get lost in the back with 500 people. And I have it in my home.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
in my home. It's beautiful. So I'll definitely send you the info, Jenny. But anyone else, go to sheilabella.com/mastermind. And so what last words of encouragement do you have on people who are afraid to take action?
You know, just take that first step. And then the second step will come, and the third and the fourth, and it will gradually just keep building. And just give yourself gratitude every single day. Just be like happy about 5 things in the morning. Wake up and say 5 things of gratitude. Then the next day, 10 things of gratitude. The next day, 20 things of gratitude. And I'm telling you, it will change your mindset and you will grow inside out. You really will. Like, and it will reflect your business and it will attract what you're looking for. It really will.
Yeah, love that. What's your Instagram handle, Jenny, for anyone looking for just a quick, like?
Sure, of course. It's good _vibrations _tattooing.
Good _vibrations _tattooing. So
yeah.
Jenny Norris Brown, thank you so much for joining us today. Guys, check out all of her links that are in the show notes and let us know and send her a message, send me a message what your takeaways were. And if you have any questions, we're always here. Thanks, Jenny.
Thank you. Thank you so much.